Hi, today I'm going to show you how to do a proportionally correct drawing of an image. In this case, it's going to be a leaf, or to enlarge it as well using the same process. The first thing that you need to do is number across the top and then letter along the side. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. You will want to number and letter along the drawing space as well, so that you end up with something like this. Now, I've already started. I started in 11A, so I put an X there, and I drew what I saw in that space. Now, what I'm looking at is the lines, the way the lines move, the direction, where they are at in accordance with these guides I have along the edges of the box. So this line started halfway down, went across the space about a third of the way, turned and went down at a slight angle, and then back, and this is parallel from the top to the bottom. So I'm paying attention to the lines. I'm not worrying about what the whole object is. I'm just worrying about the lines and the way that they move. So then I went and did 10A, and that line continued, went about halfway down at a curve, and then the bottom line was parallel and made a similar motion. So I crossed that off. Now 10B, those lines went from the middle of the bottom to about the middle of the side in this particular square. And then this line, and these are always exciting for me when you hit a corner, because that you can't miss. And then your proportions are going to be much more accurate. So then I did 9B, and you can see by crossing this off, it's going to keep me organized in the way I'm looking at those lines. So 9C is what you see in this particular space. So I'll mark that off. So then I would go down to either 9D, I could go over to 8D, and I would just continue drawing. Now I'm drawing in pen on this particular one so that you can see it a little bit better, but I highly recommend that you use a pencil when you're doing these types of drawings, so that if you are off on your direction or the angle at which that line moves, it's easy to change. And so you can see that I've drawn all the way from 11A down to 1H, and I proportionally correct with most of what you see in this drawing on top, but I've also enlarged it, and you can figure that out by measuring the distance across the box here and the distance here, and it's about 2 times bigger. The only thing I have left to draw is that little furry looking image right here. So that is how you use a grid to proportionally draw an image, as well as, if you want, you could enlarge it. Now, if you were out in nature and you have something on the ground and you don't want to pick it, you want to be aware of your surroundings and not picking things that you shouldn't. But you could bring along a transparency that has a grid on it, and you could lay that on top, and then in your sketchbook you would have that similar grid drawn on your page, and you would be ready to go. Now, another thing that artists will do out when they're out observing is to take their pencil or their tool that they have and eyeball it and kind of go like this. And let's say the top of the leaf is here, and then I would mark down here. Then when I'm drawing in my sketchbook, I could use that as a quick tool to keep my proportions correct. So that way when I go down here to draw this leaf, I know that it's a little bit shorter and I'm going to be more realistic in what I'm able to draw.